eraser. None of this computer stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Duncan, I have a question. How do you plan to work with committees without losing your temper?
Have I been known in the past to have a very aggressive temper? Yes, I have. But the thing of it is we have to learn to work together. A rule is an interpretation. Those of you that follow next door, I am also the lead. If you've also noticed that since I've taken over as lead, there are no more public shamings going on. There are being public discussions maintained. There are no more finger pointing stuff. If a conversation gets out of alignment, I pretty much contact the author of that specific item and I shut it down. If we quit finger pointing at each other, we can stop a lot of this aggressiveness toward each other. I hope that answers your question, Ms. Ellison.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions?
If not, Ken, thank you very much for your time, and we appreciate it very much.
Thank you, members of the board and members of the HOA.
Thank you, Ken. Don't you just love a Marine? Okay, Ms. Bastyr, would you like to read Gail Metcalf's application since she's not here?
Can everybody hear me? Can everybody hear me now?
You want to use my headset?
No, I'll be fine. Gail Metcalf has been her educational background is a degree in legal studies and psychology, special training, new school building projects in Massachusetts, and she has been on the board of directors and is very familiar with the ACC guidelines. She goes to different botanical gardens for the beauty of landscaping ideas, and she reads a lot, and she's active in her church. As what she feels she contribute, I consider Brookridge my family. I want to be a part of it and to keep Brookridge a place for all to be proud of.
Thank you, Ms. Bastyr. Okay, Rich?
Thank you very much. With that consideration, Rosemary read Gail's, Ken did his. I'd like to take a vote for the two people. And you want to start out with
the roll call?
For the roll call, I'll call everybody in alphabetical order. Please tell me who you'll vote for. Rosemary?
I didn't realize that we were voting for different people. I thought that anyone that volunteered was able to serve on a committee.
we vote them in, just like we did the last three gentlemen.
You don't vote on a committee.
Captain Schubert, Ray?
Yes. It is my understanding that there are 2 open positions on the ACC. My recollection is that we have never voted on committee appointments. It has just been either a yay or nay. The vote has been only for board of director open positions. But my understanding is that there's 2 candidates and 2 open positions right now.
Rich, do we have 2 open positions?
We have 2. One will be an alternate, and one will be on the board all the time. I'm sorry, committee.
If we have two candidates. So should we vote to see who is the alternate? Or do we just assign them in now and make the decision later, let the committee?
Captain Schubert, you had something to say?
Yeah, I believe the ACC committee only has 5 members right now. Even if one is an alternate, that can be decided by the chairperson if the alternate will vote at that meeting, because the person might be needed or not. But that's to be decided at the actual meeting by the committee chairperson.
So I will not do the roll call. Thank you, Rosemary.
Denny?
Well, I believe the way that the committee works is the board approves the people that have been recommended to the board by that committee is all we would take a vote on, to either approve those people or not to select, not to vote them in.
Mr. President,
Yes, ma'am.
I move we accept both candidates to serve at the pleasure of the ACC and to allow the chairman of that committee to assign the appropriate roles to those members. So both Mr. Duncan and Ms. Metcalf would be approved since there are 2 openings.
Okay.
I second it.
You second that? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. Oh, you voted no?
No.
Okay, that's taken care of. Thank you, Rosemary, for that.
Do you need to swear in Mr. Duncan?
We can't hear you guys.
We're just whispering to each
Oh,
other.
we'd like to hear.
Well,
Okay.
I'm just asking about Mr. Duncan being sworn in at this time. I thought we swear them in, and then the ACC chairperson takes care of the rest of it, but we've sworn other committee members in.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah,
Okay, Rich, you want to swear in Ken Duncan, please? Come on, Kenny, get up. Thank you, Linda, for that.
Whoa. I just make sure it works, okay? Hear me? Can you hear me? So I want to make sure.
Lord,
It's okay.
what a set of lungs.
Yeah, this is because I was a service vet just like you. Here we go. Will you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly promise and swear that you will administer the office to which you have been appointed to the best of your ability and judgment with the governing documents of Brookridge Community Property Owners Incorporated? That you will, in all the acts, be governed by principles of honesty, justice, fair play, and in every manner possible, endeavor to promote and safeguard the best interest of the citizens of Brookridge and the welfare of its membership. Installing officer, do you swear?
Yes, I do.
You lower your hand. By the virtue of authority conferred upon me, I do hereby proclaim you as duly appointed ACC to the ACC and officially installed in the office. Thank you very much, sir.
The only time you kiss your captains when they don't send you out to battle. Okay, the unfinished business, clubhouse floor replacement. We've had a lot of discussions in the past couple months over this clubhouse floor and everything. And we've had people come in, look at the floors, inspect them, and the tiles just keep lifting up. Vince is constantly pulling the lifting tiles up and gluing new ones back down in their place. So we received 3 bids for the floor replacement in the clubhouse. My recommendation is approve the clubhouse floor replacement using the quote from the vendor with funds from reserve accounts. Vendor will have appropriate license, insurance, bonding as required by the Brookridge governing documents. And we will also address what we found out this week. We will also address the water and mold damage done to the walls. So I thought about setting this off until next month to the members meeting. But then again, Ben's told me we can't wait that long. He can get this mold done within, taken care of within 3 weeks. And that's how long it's going to take the vendor to get started on the clubhouse flooring. And if I remember correctly, I was told that it's only going to take 2 to 3 weeks to get this floor down. Okay. And we have 3 bids here. Would you like to read them? Yeah, I give you all the hard work. That's why you get paid big bucks.
JL Imperial Decorative Concrete. Do I have to give all the details or just the money? Do I read everything? Like how we have, it's by 11,584 square feet, decorative concrete overlay flooring. Okay.
Yeah, just read the amount. Read the dollar amount, yeah.
Before she starts the convention, this is gonna be a poured floor, I take it, acrylic.
Right, acrylic poured floor.
Acrylic poured floor, not cement poured, acrylic.
Which is supposed to last a lifetime.
Which is long for most.
So if I may just give a statement, we can go 10-year, 20-year, 30-year, also a lifetime. If the company folds, there is no lifetime. Just so you know, no warranties. Depends on the company.
Go ahead, Cindy.
Okay, so J&L Imperial Decorative Concrete, their total for the project would be $78,198. We have one from Riviera, flooring, kitchen, and more. Their total is $124,415. I think it's Sake Life. Is that how you pronounce this company? SCAIFE Enterprise. This is for just room DE. Vince's office, well, this can't be right. This total is $40,448. This cannot be correct. $48,488. Well, it says here, D room E, room 1 room, ceramic equipment, Vince's office, club room, A, library, Patrona's office, and 2 janitorial rooms, approximately 39,000 square feet.
3,900.
Okay, yep. And they're 40,400.
And that's only doing so many rooms, right?
There's another part.
Okay, and the other part is $93,468, which is 9,000 square feet.
That's a combined price of $136,979, if I'm correct, for that project. $43,511 and $93,468.00 comes to $136,979.
Okay.
I believe that's all the bids I have.
Okay. Yes,
Yes.
Question, Lucille McGuire, question. If it's
unit
that
number
unit 4,
4, okay.
if that first quote goes as it was written, they say 50% cost up front, the rest at time of finish. And yet, if I recall correctly, at the last meeting, it was going to be taken care of in a different way regarding payment. Am I incorrect?
Yes, you are. They were gonna accept $25,000 down to get started. And when they get halfway done with it, then we'll give another $50,000. And when they're finished, they will take monthly payments of $5,000 a month until it's paid for.
That's not what I heard at the last meeting. So just tell me, how is it gonna be paid for if that contract is chosen? That's all.
It's gonna have to come out of the reserve funds, right, Dennis?
That was one of the options that we had discussed. Yes, that will take us, there's about 100,000, if I recall, in that element. So that's gonna take us to leave about 20,000 left in that particular element, just for the floor.
Okay,
And I'm making myself a little clearer here. If that contract is chosen, it's not where is the money coming from, but how is it going to be paid? In segments? What is the exact way it's going to be paid?
I just said that, Lucille.
That's not how I read it on the form, of the contract. That's all. I just needed clarification.
Mr. President, hang on, I think I have it. $50,000 up front, $25,000, and then 5,000 increments every month was paid for. Am I right?
No,
No. Right, 25, then $5,000 a month. And is Tom here? KO, do you have anything on that? Thank you, Lucille.
Kale Coral Unit 4. Actually, I do, that's the 25, 25, 5 is what they discussed. That was on their poured concrete. Their actual epoxy flooring that we kind of decided is the best route because we get the longest warranty.
Right,
And we're looking for something that's gonna last us for years and years and years to come, so we don't have a continuing problem. Their bid on that one was $101,300.
okay,
We also had, when it comes to Scoffy, that was the total, $136,979. That was for, they had I believe it was a 20-year guarantee. And then a new bid that came in that hasn't been reviewed by all the board members was from Premier Epoxy, who they did some work at Weeki Wachee at the park. They did a couple floors in there. Anybody wants to go on the Premier Epoxy's website that shows them doing the floor at Weeki Wachee and gives a couple other examples of their work. They also just gave us a bid for $102,680 with a lifetime guarantee.
And that's gonna be the acrylic, right?
That's the epoxy floor, yeah.
Which is just as good as acrylic.
The what?
Is it just as good as the acrylic floor?
Actually, we haven't done any acrylics. We had poured concrete and epoxy.
Okay,
The epoxy floors are the ones that are the longest lasting. That's what they have on a lot of the facilities at Disney, at Busch Gardens and other places, and now at Weeki Wachee. They put them in there because of their longevity, because they wear really well and they last very long. If anybody wants to go look at one, Papa Joe's up on 50, they have that same floor.
okay.
Okay, this new bid of $101,300,
Yes,
do the same payments?
yeah, they're willing to work with us on the payment structure. I think it's changed a little bit. I wish Tom was here, because he just recently talked to them about that. Because they'd originally given us the 25, 25, and 5 on the poured concrete. And now that we've decided to go with the epoxy flooring, which was a little bit higher bid, he's talked to them, but I have no idea what they told him, other than that they would work with us.
So we don't have a current, we don't, for the JNL, for the, we have the bid, but we don't know the payment. Well,
That's correct.
With the.
As of right now, I could not tell you what the payment structure would be on the epoxy floor.
Now, I'm getting confused here. We're talking the JNL Imperial. Yep.
Yes.
We're talking poured concrete and we're talking epoxy.
The poured concrete, we saw some poured concrete floors that were done in the community. They did not last long.
Okay, that's the 78,000.
That's correct.
The epoxy that we don't have a bid on it here.
Yes, we do. It's the J&L bid. There's another J&L bid. We have 2 J&L bids.
Okay,
I don't think they gave that to
I
us.
don't have.
And when I passed them out, I gave everybody a copy of each one except
I
for
didn't get, I
Miss
don't have
Ellison.
that.
Okay. I don't have. Okay, thank you.
I can get you copies of it. I have extra copies.
KO, is that the one for 101,300?
That's correct.
You gave everyone, here they are. Everybody got it.
We got it
I
at the
don't have it.
last meeting when we had the slideshow.
I ended up giving it to everybody, but we can get you copies in the future here if you need them. And the new bid, I haven't given that to everybody because it just came in, was for 102. Any more questions?
Okay,
Could I ask a question?
yes, you can.
I am the liaison to the ad hoc flooring committee.
Uh-huh.
I was not included in any of the discussions of the floor.
Uh-huh.
So I'm kind of in the dark as to what you guys have been doing.
As far as the director, I was here for everything they did. I want to be know what's going on from beginning to end. I'm only a board member. I wanted to be there. Like anything you do around your house, you gotta be there. Excuse me. So I seen these people, I didn't say a word, I wrote everything down. That's the name of the game.
I apologize to you, Rosemary. There again, I'm not the chairman of the committee. Our chairman happened to go through serious back surgery, and since then, he has been kind of recovering. And so a lot of this was done just to get things speeded up to whatnot. And I had no idea that you were not being notified. I was notified that we were gonna get more bids, but they didn't tell me to give
The
you a
last
call.
time when we met, we had set a date for June 20th for a presentation. That's the only.
And that
information I
presentation
had.
ended up falling
And
through.
then presentation at the last board meeting. I was not notified about that.
The last one at the,
When Tom presented that, so I've been kind of left out of the loop, so to speak.
well, I apologize for that. It wasn't intentional on my part. And, I'm sure if Tom was here, he would have an
Oh,
explanation
I'm
for it.
sure he, because
Yeah.
we talked.
Yeah.
You and I talked with Wayne
Exactly.
and Tom and the three of us.
You will not be left out in the future.
Please, I really want to get in on this.
Super.
One thing, Rosemary, let me ask you a question. I tried to call you on your phone and your phone was full. I couldn't leave a message. I emailed you something. I never got an email back on it. I emailed you something to your email, never got a response.
As far as I know, my email was working fine, my phone was working fine, and I also have a cell phone.
Can I have that phone number? Can I have your cell phone number?
Any more questions?
Yes, Kenny?
I've only got one, Cato, and Ken Duncan, Unit 2. With the change to the acrylic, will their lead times or the epoxy, will that stay in place like they were saying? 2 to 3 weeks for complete?
That is correct. That's exactly what they said. The poured concrete, as opposed to the epoxy floors, takes the same length of time. And the epoxy floors just all have a longer warranty, and they're a more durable floor. And if we want it done right, that's probably the best way for us to go. It's also the more expensive way.
Yes, ma'am.
Would you like me to make copies, for the board of the new proposals he has?
Sure.
May I have one as well, please? Yes, ma'am, thank you. Yeah, this one, okay.
Thank you, Patrona.
You're welcome.
That way everybody will have a copy and will be as informed as I am. Any more questions?
Yeah,
Thank you for no more questions. Oh,
sorry, I have questions.
I'm sorry, Ms. Ellison.
I'm looking at the 3 different bids that we have here in the agenda packet, and I noticed that they're for 3 different things. The Riviera's is luxury vinyl
The
tile.
Riviera, we're not gonna go with them because they're doing tile.
Okay. And the Scafa
Scafa, that's the one where it's 2 bids,
yeah.
it's separated for different rooms, but it's all the same. When you add them together, that's their total price.
And what kind of a flooring are they proposing?
That's to get their exact wording,
No, that's the floor. Something called Duraflex?
Yes. it's a Duraflex, it's a poured epoxy.
Okay, it's also poured epoxy then.
That is correct.
So it would be the same as the J&L?
Same as the J&L poured epoxy and the same as the Premier
Okay,
epoxy.
which I don't have, okay.
Yeah, that's the one we're getting printed right now for you.
So basically, we have 3 bids for, so we'll discard the Riviera bid
Discard the Riviera.
and look at 3 bids for epoxy floors.
That's
Am I
correct.
correct in that?
That's correct.
Okay. And we're getting the 3rd bid as soon as Patrona brings it up.
That's correct.
Okay. Can we move on to something else until Patrona comes back?
I think this is it, except for members' comments or directors' comments.
We could do that.
Okay, let's table this until Verona.
Mr. President, I have another comment. Going with the epoxy floors, especially for our clubhouse manager and his crew, they work very, very hard. They've been working very, very well with us. And this will help them in their duties in the future to maintain the floor and the properties and to help keep their job better for them. I mean, they are very highly paid, but I still think we should do everything we can to keep our workers here happy. And especially our clubhouse manager, who is right now doing a fantastic job.
Kale, one question.
Yes.
This J&L Imperial, that is the whole clubhouse, that's all the rooms and everything?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Thank you, Patrona.
Who? Yeah, Bev, go ahead.
Beverly Exline, Unit 6. I think Dennis said there was $100 and some thousand in our reserve account. Would that include replacing the air conditioning? Would that come out of the same account, Dennis?
I don't think so. I think the air conditioning is totally separate.
I believe so. I don't, it depends upon the cost. We've not seen any bids on that, so I have no idea. From a cost standpoint, if it kind of goes over the threshold, that would throw it into the reserve account.
I can't find
Ray, can you comment on that?
I can't find my agenda. Whoops.
While Mr. Giroux's looking that up, we do have 3 bids. We've had 3 contractors for the air conditioning. We're getting 3 bids, and as soon as we get all 3 bids, we will be submitting them to the board for questioning and for their approval.
Right, I want to back one thing on that. On the air conditioning system, the people are out here, and they don't cool down efficiently in this building. We all know that. So when he went up in the ceiling and he had the little thermometer, the temperature up here on top is different than the temperature on the bottom. The air does not circulate. That's the problem. Because we sit here and you breathe in, you have to have it like home, it circulates.
I think Vince said it's to be turned. And
But
that's why.
it is. There's no returns in the rooms, they're in the hallway. So we want to get that taken care of and make everything so all the residents are safe and secure.
Go ahead.
One other question, KO. Who's going to be picking out the color for the floor?
That's a good question. I would love for the membership of the community to be somehow able to help choose the color, because when it comes to colors, you don't want me to pick it out, because I'm gonna go with Marine Corps red and gold.
Ken Duncan, Unit 2. I understand that J&L was gathering information in regards to a bond issue for us. Do they have all their insurances and stuff in place to do this per our SOP?
They have all of their insurances and licenses that are proper, and they're waiting for, from what I understand, they're waiting for either approval or disapproval to apply to their insurance company for the bonding. It's performance bond.
Will that add to the cost?
That should not add to the cost, no.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, after only member comments. You can proceed.
Mr. President.
Yes, sir. Wait a minute, Dennis has a question.
I believe Ray was gonna respond to the question that we had.
The air conditioning is under the same element, clubhouse element, under reserve funding. Covers all the air conditioning units in the clubhouse.
Okay, and if I'm not mistaken, it was about 100,000.
115 is your projected end of year balance.
That was, there's 115,000 is our projected year end, what our total would be when we've made all the payments from operating into the reserve for that element. So if we're looking at 100 and I'll just round 101, 103,000, that's leaving us about, correct.
Okay, yes, sir.
That's still about four.
Okay,
Ray, I got a question. If we only have $115,000 and we use money for the floor, I think Kale will understand it's gonna cost us more than $15,000 for the air conditioning system to be taken care of. So we're short some money. Where would that money come from?
Would I be able to interject? If it was according, whoops,
You know,
okay,
Ray,
okay, Ray first?
I don't have an answer on whether.
Oh, okay. If it would be according to installments in order to pay for the floor. And last meeting, it was that we would pay so much until January 1st, and then the rest would be covered on January 1st. This is what I understood at the last meeting with the cement, which is totally different now. So if we're not sure how these installments will be had or made by whoever you choose, that's an important issue because of the amount of money we have in reserves for this element. And we're including the air conditioning for this element problem. Lack of funds. If we wait until January 1st to finish up what we owe, isn't that the time that we get a good influx of money at the beginning of the year because of the way payments are made for the HOA fees?
Influx? Could you explain that?
Money coming in.
We have the same basically every month for the.
People making their payments at the beginning of the year,
And then there would be more money in the different
starting
elements.
into the new year.
Right, would that help to see how it's all gonna be covered?
Just let me intercede for a moment, that this would also depend, I believe, Dennis, on the approval or disapproval of the 2021 budget.
That is correct. So there's a lot of piece parts that have to all come together. And that's why it's difficult to give you a specific answer to say, yes, that is correct. But the 2021 budget's going to come into play at that point. Any extras that are left over, but that's the 115,000 is what's projected that we would have by the end of the year, not that we have that today, because we still have payments to make out of the operating budget into our reserve fund, the transfer over to the reserve fund. So that money's not sitting there today waiting.
Okay, my next question then would be, I'm trying to put it together nicely. What? Oh. Okay, my next question would be, the air conditioning the repair has to be done prior to the floor, because we were talking about an item that had to be moved and put back or moved and relocated.
That was my understanding, yes.
So that has to come first. All the monies that we need for that has to come from the reserve funds, and then that only leaves so much for the floor. I'm not being particular, I'm just being careful about how we're spending our money. I know the floors have to be done.
Well, you know the floors have to be done. What would you suggest we do, Lucille? Close the clubhouse up until January?
I'm not saying that.
So what would you say?
Okay, what I'd like to say, the reserve funds, there's a percentage, if I remember the town hall meeting about how to understand reserve funds. So much percentage goes in each item. Is that a definite, can't be changed? Meaning, can you rearrange the reserve funding? I know, robbing Peter to pay Paul.
You cannot move across elements
Okay.
without, if I recall correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, without a vote of the membership.
Okay, and that's not gonna happen, not at this time. Okay, so I'm just throwing out questions. I'm not trying to make it a big deal, but I do wanna know how we're gonna get around to paying for these necessary changes that have to happen to this clubhouse. Thank you.
Val Stratton, Unit 3. I have a question regarding the sale of a house, the gain from the sale of the house that's on our balance sheet of $52,000. And from reading the bylaws, it says that the proceeds of that money goes into one element. Is there any plan to put that into clubhouse elements? That's my first question. And my second observation is, once before, during my residency here, we had gone into a negative balance, and the accountant said we just had to make it up the following year. So is that a possibility as well? Did you understand that, Dennis? Okay.
Thank you, Val.
And, Ray, if you can guide me through that answer. I don't know how the 52,000.
The transaction occurred this calendar year. Once the audit is complete for this calendar year, it should reflect the proceeds. Proceeds will be designated for a reserve item to be determined by the board.
Okay, and that would be then next year?
Correct.
That's
2021 at the conclusion of the audit, which would be about April.
We have that money in our possession now.
We have that money in our possession, but we do not have the proceeds established.
And where would that money be?
The operating fund. On the books as a proceed to be audited and transferred to the reserves next year.
So I think in answer to your question, Val, is it's not available for this year for the cost of this year. It would have to go to next year.
Question, can we borrow against it? We know who we are, it's our money. A to B. Can we borrow against it for next year?
We could write a contract that we would replace the funds, but it would have to be written.
Is that correct, Ray? Can we do that?
You'd need to contact the CPA or a lawyer.
No problem. So if the money wouldn't be available, we'll just pay ourselves back. Front pocket to the back pocket.
Do you have any more questions for me?
No, Kale, I don't.
I'd like to thank the
Anybody
board,
else?
and I can believe that the membership, seeing how hard you guys are trying to fix and correct this problem, I think everybody's very appreciative of the hard work that the board and our administrative staff is doing. And as a member, I want to thank you guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kale.
Thanks, Kale.
Well, I don't understand this because I'll tell you what, we've always been able to find money for when we want to do something anyway, so I just don't understand why we can't take that money from the sale of the house and just borrow against it and do something with it. It's not helping us sitting out there in Wonderland when we can be using it to fix this clubhouse. That's my opinion on it.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
can you, I can ask Ray, you can ask Ray, why can't we call him this afternoon? The gentleman you just mentioned, and get an answer.
I would encourage it.
Who wants to make the call? Should you make the call, Ray?
That would be a board officer.
Okay.
Treasurer should make the call
Yeah.
to serve.
Dennis, you call him? Thank you.
I think that we really need to get this floor done. Our residents are being penalized. They can't come in here, they can't use it. It's a big part of our community. It's day and night used. We have musicians. We have people playing games, cards. We have the nighttime atmosphere. As being a board member, I believe that we should all be working together to get this resolved, not jumping to conclusions as past board members have done. We need to do this correctly. This needs to be the last time this floor is being repaired. I hope that the residents appreciate that this is not a fly-by-night job. We're just not trying to get somebody we know to do this floor. And I think as a board member and the rest of us, this is a huge decision. And we don't want you to be left out in the dark, and we don't want to be left out in the dark like Rosemary. We're working together. We want our community to be better. Thank you.
We're getting letters in. We're getting letters in, 2-3 letters a week, wanting to know when we're gonna open up this clubhouse. Well, it's unsafe with the way the floor is. Now we have a mold issue, so that's gonna keep it closed down until we get that mold issue taken care of. I had a house that had mold in it, and I didn't know I had mold in it when I bought it, when my 3 daughters all started having seizures at the same time, and they never had a seizure before in their life. And it was all due to this mold. So what do we want to do? Open it up for a liability to where we're going to get sued or something like that?
Let's get it done.
And I can work out payment schedules with this J&L Imperial.
Okay, let's get back, point of order. Let's do this in steps. First off, we've got enough funding to deal with the floor this second. So legally, we could vote on and we have these floor contracts in front of us. So let's pick out a contractor and have that ready to go. Then we need to have an executive session where we sit down and review the contracts for the air conditioning and figure out the financing at that point. Then we can get everything going. I realize we've got the cart before the horse as far as flooring goes, but this is what we've got now to deal with. So let's at least make the decision to pick a contractor, and then, because we can do that today. We can't approve contracts we don't have in front of us for air conditioning, but we do need to do that this month. So we're going to need to have an additional meeting to do that with so that we can move forward expeditiously. So my suggestion would be, let's pick a floor contractor, and then let's schedule a second meeting to look at air conditioning and funding.
Okay, I agree with you.
I so move.
And I hear you on that, but what are we going to do about the mold? Have we got
Vince is gonna
anybody, have we got any bids on what's going on with the mold? How bad, how much is it gonna cost us to to fix the mold problem? And is that the only place that we've got a mold problem?
Vince, do you have anything on that? Can you and your guys take care of this mold situation?
If we can't, we'll have to call on a company to try and help us out.
Okay. And I believe our insurance does cover mold to a certain percent. Who says it doesn't? Because my insurance company tore half my house down and replaced it.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
why don't we call the insurance company and ask them?
We will.
Thank you.
I just found out today we had the mold
I know.
situation.
Just thank you very much, okay?
Okay, let's get back to what we can do right now as opposed to what we're gonna have to do later this month. Let's pick a floor, set that aside as done. When the ad hoc committee brings us, as soon as they've got 3 contracts for air conditioning, then we'll pick an air conditioning contractor. As soon as we get more information from Vince, then we can address the mold issue. But we can't set a timeline on what needs to happen until we get all the information as far as money and funds go. We can assume at this point that the mold issue can be covered by insurance just for discussion's sake. We've got a tentative plan for funding for the AC. We have enough funds in the reserve right this minute for the floor. So legally, let's get what we can get done today and schedule another meeting so that we can deal as soon as we get the rest of the information we need to get everything done. Then we can schedule in order what needs to be fixed. We realize that the mold has to be addressed, the AC has to be addressed before we can lay the floor. But we want to get that done as soon as possible. So I think an emergency meeting, once we get all the contractor bids in, to get the rest of the decision made expeditiously is the only way to do it. Can I get a second on that?
You got a second on that.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
Well, I don't think we should, I don't think we should have an emergency meeting. I think it needs to come back to a general meeting. And that won't be until the Tuesday workshop in August because we're having a July meeting, but, I don't think that it needs to be a closed door.
I'm not saying closed door, I'm saying emergency. That's not a closed door meeting.
Well, you've got to open it up to the membership.
We would open it up to the membership. It's not a closed door meeting. This wasn't an executive session. I'm saying an emergency meeting where we all get together again, sit down here, put on the cameras and do this.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm not.
Linda, you're shaking your head no. What reason? You're shaking your head no. I just think doing this here. Is that because you don't like it? Like the idea? Linda,
I'm sorry, what?
you were shaking your head after she mentioned that. Is that a no?
Oh, no.
Oh,
I just have a bobbing issue.
Yes, sir.
Jack Hill, Crew 4. I'm a certified project manager, Lean Six Sigma Black Belt. You've got several problems on hand. You've got the floor, you've got the AC, you've got mold. And with all of that, we can't use the clubhouse. Why should I be paying my monthly dues if I can't use the facilities? Number one. Number two, I need to give thanks to KO for clearing up everything. And to me, as a certified project manager, it's a single point of contact. KO, talk to Mr. Stratton. He's a member of the board. KO doesn't need to talk to everybody else on the board. You got a board member on the board. It's his job to communicate to everybody else. Single point of contact.
Single point of contact. He was at the meeting. She wasn't.
But I was supposed to be at the meeting, sir.
It's not, it's not.
I am
Let's calm down.
Yes, sir. It's not KO's job to make sure you're at the meeting. Who's responsible for that? Somebody on the board was already there. Take it up
He
with
had
him.
no business being there.
He was there. It's his job to communicate to the rest of the board. Anyways.
Excuse me,
my first-
please, let's be civil,
Sure.
okay?
My first question is, why should I be paying my dues if I can't use the facilities?
Well, the simple question is, and the thing is, your dues that you pay every month doesn't just include this clubhouse. It includes road improvement, it includes, guys cutting the grass, and all of our other facilities we have out here, plus our administrative office.
Great, so what should I be paying knowing that I can't use the clubhouse?
Yeah, you're $45 a month.
But I can't use anything in the clubhouse for the rest of the year, it seems like.
Well, if we can start on this and we can quit our bickering and put our differences aside, we can get this done. And so we're not having you coming up here upset with us because nothing's getting done.
I understand the flooring part of it, and I understand the AC, and I understand the mold. But it's gonna take you months to get it all done.
A lot of it has been the COVID too, that this clubhouse has been closed. It isn't just because of the floor.
I
Right.
understand that.
COVID-19.
You get past the COVID, you get past all the other things. These are items, scope in a project that need to be done, and you have to address them one by one to get them done. COVID is well beyond anything that the floor, the AC, or the mold.
And they think COVID's gonna be spiking even more.
Mr. President, point of order.
Yes, sir.
There is a motion and a second. I am calling the question.
Okay. The question was, Margie, or that you put up there?
The question is that we pick a floor and then set a date for a town hall meeting. So we need to pick a contractor first and then set a date contingent on when we acquire the information we need to get everything else settled so that we can set up a construction schedule.
Okay. All in favor of that, say aye. Aye. Raise your hand, please. There was clapping going on unanimously. I would like to make a motion that we accept this J&L contract for $101,300. And these guys were the ones that came into the clubhouse. No other contractor came in here, but J&L showed us samples and let us see what they could do.
You need a second?
Yes.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor of that, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Unanimous. Thank you. That's done. All right, report of directors. We'll start with Mr. Stratton.
I have a question for Ray. On the members portal for the financials, haven't been updated. The last month is April. What's the delay on that, Ray? Any reason?
I'll look at it when I get back to work.
Thank you very much, so I appreciate that.
Didn't hear what you said, Ray. Could you do that without the mask, please?
He said he'd get back to the shop and take care of it right away.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other reports, Director Stratton?
No, that's just it. I want to thank KO, Tom, and of course, Mr. Barkham, which is at the hospital. Terrific job and everything else. And as a board member, I just want to look at stuff and see what goes on. As you say, I saved money for the car because I inquired about it and looked into it. So simple. That's the name of the game. Just keep your eyes open, mouth shut, and go from there. Thank you.
Mr. Bedoin?
I just have two things to report. The Finance Committee is continuing to meet almost weekly. We have a week off this coming week as we begin to gather more information, updated information, and we'll begin our deep dive into each of the individual department budgets going forward. So we're right on target to have information to present to the board.
I've heard you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
From a lot of people.
Also, the ADRC committee is still meeting. We will meet this month at our usual time to go over any cases that we might have at that point, just to keep things moving within the community.
Okay, thank you very much. Miss Bastyr, you've been sitting there so quiet tonight. Do you have anything to say?
Well, not really, because it seems like my duties have been stripped of me.
Okay, can you and I meet together in my office and we'll talk about that? You can have them all back. You can have my job.
I told you. No. I was being facetious. Right now, there's nothing going on that I'm involved in because the only thing that didn't occur is because I am also the liaison to Memorial Day, 4th of July, and Veterans Day. Hopefully we'll have something then. That I was not informed about this parade because I would have liked to have seen it.
Okay. Weren't you not on the Fall Festival Committee? Okay.
Yeah, we haven't done anything yet to take them down because
Our meeting was
Yesterday.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
It was posted.
We called and emailed.
I'll tell you what, email seems to be a pain in the rear end. You either get it or you don't. Okay. Ms. Nutter, do you have anything to report?
Not at this time.
Thank you. Margie Ellison?
Yeah, I've been, since I don't have any liaison assignments as yet, I thought I would let you know what I've been up to the last couple of weeks. Here's my list. I attended an ACC meeting and 2 meetings of the Finance Committee as an observer, and the first meeting of the Fall Festival, which was yesterday. I've been given my director's book and I've been studying it, and I also have webinar training scheduled on July 15th for my Board of Directors certification, and I plan to observe an ADRC meeting. Look out, Dennis. And yeah, I'm trying to hit the floor running. I have a couple of suggestions, and what I'd like to do is to try and keep communications open with everybody in a more informal setting. I plan on having a sip and chat on the 26th of July. It's a Sunday evening at 6 o'clock in the lower parking lot. Bring your lawn chairs or your golf carts. I'll have a portable sound system so you can hear me. And you know, it's informal. I may not be able to get anything done, but at least I'll be glad to listen to anything you have to say. Anybody is welcome, and you know, we'll see where it goes from there. Thank you.
And Kate, we posted on the clubhouse door, so
I can.
don't forget.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ms. Hartman?
No, nothing on Friday night bingo yet.
Okay, you see, I think we need to have a spot filled for the beautification committee. Would you like to be liaison for that?
I can.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Okay.
I really would, thank you. Okay, now we'll go to member comments. Yes, sir, in the blue shirt, you've been sitting there patiently. Come on up and pick what curtain you want. No, click it.
Okay, Fred Haberkost, Unit 6. I want to say to the Board of Directors that I am sorry that I broke the SOP rules. As a committee, we were never made aware that there were any rules regarding how applicants were to be assigned. I have been on the ACC committee since we moved to Brookridge in 2009. I volunteered to be the chairperson when one was needed. I was never board appointed nor sworn in until approximately 3 years ago. We had a lot of members that come and go at that time, and we have never been appointed by the board. We on the ACC do our meetings by the rules of our ACC guidelines. Actually, last year, we had a board member who assigned his girlfriend to our ACC committee that we were never informed about ahead of time, and none of us had any idea who she was. But I also believe that this action against me by being terminated is not so much about going against the SOP, but more about the person that the ACC and committee members thought would be a good fit to our committee, which was Gail Metcalf. Someone who has had a lot of knowledge about how things work here. If applicants have to be board approved, then my dismissal should have been board approved. I would like to know when that meeting was held. I wish Mark Keller would have been open enough to call me into his office and discuss this matter man to man before making the decision to terminate me as chairperson of the ACC as stated in his letter to me. I was not told that I was no longer a member, just not a chairperson of the ACC, that my services as chairperson were no longer required. I've enjoyed serving Brookridge for the past 11 years on the ACC and will continue to do my best to help Brookridge grow and prosper. Thank you.
Thank you, Fred. Would you please give that letter to Arlene? One. Yeah, the.
Thank you.
I think this is still on. Beverly Epstein, Unit 6. I'm also the chair of the Unit Reps. I would like to reply to Alan and Vivian Blair and to anyone else who does not understand the position of the Unit Reps. There are 12 dedicated Unit Reps, volunteers. We are extension of the Board of Directors. In addition to greeting new residents, we assist the board with special projects, elections, and fundraisers. We hope to be able to visit all new residents soon. As a reminder, our names and phone numbers are listed in the news and views. Call your representative if you have any questions. Due to the epidemic, only 2 of us are permitted to attend the meetings, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome, Beth. Thank you. Would you give that letter to Arlene, please? Thank you. Anybody else, any other members? Yes, Val?
Val Stratton, Unit 3. Regarding Fall Fest, we are still planning on having a festival the Saturday after Thanksgiving. And while our plans have slowed down a bit, we have committed as of yesterday that even if we have to do it through social distancing and outside, it would be a smaller venue, but we feel it's important to celebrate that with the community. Our next meeting is July 17th at 10 a.m. To be determined where we're going to have it. If we're still under social distancing, it will only be able to accommodate the subcommittee attendance, because we have 10 subcommittees, so 10 people. So hope to get your new contact information. Thank you.
Val, you have a question?
Oh, thank you. August 17th. Good thing we have the other people that were there paying attention. Thank you.
I will put it on my calendar when I go home.
Thank you, Ms. Stratton. Any other comments from the members?
One more thing. I'm sorry. Is
No,
there
you're
not,
not.
is there still a liaison position open for the RV compact?
Yes, there is. Would you like it?
Yeah.
You got it.
Thank you.
Oh my, see how easy that is? And you all swear to it, right? Okay. Thank you. Any other member comments before I ask to adjourn the meeting? Okay, then, do I?
I second the motion.
I make the motion that we adjourn. Margie seconds it. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you, Lord.